for a refreshing change? Say goodbye to sluggish performance. Reach for the one that won't slow you down. Experience the force of clean, pure oil coursing through your engine. No matter what you drive, Wix Filters is the clear choice. Here's the filtration works as hard as you do. Wix Premium Filters. Performance starts here.
Like a seed planted in Ohio soil, Michael Connie knew that success takes time. It requires grit, hard work, and persistence. What began in a one-bay garage grew to revolutionize America's trailer industry. Today, Mac Trailer is a full-scale enterprise with 13 facilities and over 135 dealers across the nation. Mac Trailer supports you with a team of experts in the heart of a small-town hero. Start your legacy with Mac Trailer.
You've got questions? We've got answers. Need a pro you can trust? We have stores of that too. No matter what you need, our professional parts people have the training and expertise to help you do things right. Deep automotive knowledge. Just one part that makes O'Reilly stand apart. The professional parts people.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
I got two of them, the third one's flashing. Copy. You tell me, it's hard to tell out here. Not tell it. It's kind of hard to tell with the glare.
Welcome everybody to Fort Recovery, Ohio. This is my first time here. I'm so excited. I've seen the pictures, Dan, Bert. I've seen the videos. I've seen the hillside full of people, and here we are sitting at a countdown to pull time. Our studio. We're gonna go live for about an hour tonight. Then we'll kind of cut into our main live stream on fullpull.live. I'm joined by Dan Mayer, who will be our house announcer tonight inside. For those of you on fullpull.live, Bert Forbes is going to bring us all of our trackside stuff. The what happened? Why did you do that? What are you thinking, Bert? What are some of the questions?
Well, see, that's one of the things about tractor pullers. I don't think they know half the time what they're thinking. They just kind of figure out that looks like that might that might work. I mean, you got to realize this track's going to change tremendously. Sun's beating down on us right now. When that sun goes down, this is going to be a totally different ball game. So if you're one of those 31 mini rods and you're in the beginning of the show or during the daylight and then it starts getting a little shady or a little dark, the track's going to change. So are you going to change gears? You're going to change tire pressures. What are you going to do? You know, if we have, and I hope this doesn't happen, but if you have an accident, what happened, what caused it, those kinds of things. That's what we want to bring to you at home, is to show you exactly what's going on out on the sidelines, because there's a ton of information out there.
This guy's good, Dan.
The man on the scene, right?
Yeah,
the man on the scene here.
He's he's the storm chaser, the ambulance chaser. We have that guy in Wisconsin that every state's got a ambulance chaser attorney, and ours is one call. That's all. He's like on every Bucks commercial, every Milwaukee Brewers commercial.
See, now down by Louisville, we have the hammer.
The hammer.
The hammer. And you got billboards of the guy with the big hammer. It's pretty cool. But, storied facility. I mean, let's talk about Fort Recovery, Ohio. 1973, the first pull they ever had here. And this facility right here is the longest-running NTPA run facility that there is in the organization.
We were texting you Monday night for our podcast.
Yep. And since 1973, it's been an NTPA pull. Other pulls have, gone with other organizations, but this has been strictly NTPA since 1973.
Now, this is also hosted the Enderley as well, right?
Yes, it did.
Before they moved it to Urbana?
Yes, it did. The Enderley started in the Ohio State Fair, and then once that ended, it went here to Fort Recovery, ran here for quite a few years, and then they moved it to a standalone event where it is, now in Urbana.
We're actually in the 2 busiest weeks. If you look at all the polling associations, we're in our 2 busiest weeks of the year. And sometimes, I don't want to call it white noise, but a big poll like this can get lost to a different fan that might follow a different association. Like me, for example, I run a lot with the Outlaws, and I've always heard about Fort Recovery. You get a lot of messages, Jason, need to come to Fort Recovery, and when you get here, you see it. You can tell it's got a good track. And hillsides are cool, Dan.
Yes.
Ridgeland, Wisconsin, it's a Region 3 hookup by us. Iowa City, Iowa, I'm trying to think of hillsides. That's just neat. Dan, what are some iconic seating venues that you've seen?
Well, I mean, one thing you got to think about with Fort Recovery is the silo.
Yeah.
Every picture from Fort Recovery, Ohio will have, the silo in the background.
Yeah.
That seems to be,
the truck and tractor pulling is America, and it's from the Midwest. I know it's all over now, but it started in the Midwest, and farming and ag is that background, and to have that's just beautiful. The photographers that had that shot in the back, and I'm sure we'll do some of that on FullPull.live tonight as well. So it's neat, Dan.
Absolutely. And, and one thing also about the Fort Recovery Pull, years ago, they used to host 2 Grand National Pulls a year.
Really?
Used to do one in July, and then they would do one at the end of August, the week after. That's when they did the Enderley, was the week after Bowling Green. So they were the only event to have, 2 Grand National Pulls in a year, and they kind of condensed it down here to one.
I don't think Fort Recovery's that big of a town, Dan.
Not really, no. It's about the size of Hillsborough, I think.
So a couple thousand, 4,000 or 5,000 maybe?
I would say probably give or take.
Good.
Yep.
But it's going to be very, very full. So we got 3 sessions, right, Dan? Tonight at 7. Tomorrow, is it noon or 11 tomorrow, guys?
I believe tomorrow's noon session, I believe. And then we got another 7 o'clock tomorrow night as well.
So the Grand National kind of split up this week. We got Brandenburg, Kentucky, which is another cool venue. And Chase Richardson's down there, and they got the 2-wheel drives down there. I think this is the first time the Simons, I'm looking for storylines. I think this is the first time the Simon brothers have had to split up this year. Or no, last weekend Brandon was in Henry, and RJ was in Chapel Hill.
Yep. And then this week, Brandon will be down, like tonight he's down in Evansville.
Yep.
Brent Meyer's running the Pro Stocks down in Brandenburg, and then RJ's here with the semi.
Okay, so Brandon's with the mod in Evansville.
Brandon's with the mod, yep. He's trying to win 2 championships. So
that's cool.
Yes. So
that's cool. And that, when that worked out for Ryan DeBrew last year,
yes,
he didn't have to make any choices, right?
Yes. No, it just the way the schedule fell. Yep, every event fell, separate from each other, which, in the long run makes it better for the competitors. Yeah. Because you know how pullers are. There's a pull, we're going to go to it.
Yep.
So that's
good. But Dan has lined up. Brian McDonald's going to come on about 5:15 tonight. Then you said you have David Litman at 5:30?
Jade Litman's going to be on.
Okay.
Yep, and she'll be here about 5:30, and then we'll have Jeff Hordem. I'll be at 5:45,
awesome.
The current points leader in our Unlimited the Super Stock Open class.
I'm happy to see him on the top. He's been fighting that thing for years.
Yes.
Came out strong. Every year it's got a new look to it. I love how he does the sponsorship.
Yep, and if there is a guy that knows how to promote the sport, it is Mr. Hordem.
Yep.
I mean, because he's always set up really nice, always gets there to the event nice and early, and ready to greet the fans and talk to anybody that comes along. So that makes it always really open to the fans.
So before we bring McDonald on, guys, I'm going to get out my Full Pull app, and I want to show you the games that we have up tonight for everybody. So I think you can wager on us in 19 or 20 states. I don't think Ohio's approved yet, but I know there's other states that are, and I know Ohio's coming. I know the plan is to get Ohio before Bowling Green. I know the goal was to get Tennessee done, but it's a lot of paperwork and stuff that I don't understand. But every time we get a new state, we're going to make a big announcement on on the Full Pull platforms. You'll get an email and different things like that. So I'm going to the Full Pull app right now. I'm going to hit picks, and we're trying something new tonight with the Outlaws. I wanted to talk about. We're doing some head-to-head stuff.
Oh, okay.
So this is evolving. This is our first year. I mean, I know last year was all the free-to-play games, and Dan talked about it a couple times, and we did a lot of games. But it's real money now. It's been you pick 2 competitors to finish in the top 3, and then a $5 minimum wager, and it's a money line like horse racing. It'll move. A lot of people say, hey, when I said I'd wager $5 earlier, it said I'd win $50, but I only won $35. Well, because the money line changed, and they turn it off right when the class starts. But tonight we're doing some head-to-head stuff too, so I'm excited about that. But in the Brandenburg, now Brandenburg, that's the one where you kind of drive under the track?
You go in the tunnel. Yeah, there's a tunnel. You come out and you go right into the facility, which is unique because if it rains, the place will fill up with water. And they've got a plug right in the middle of it, and they'll pull the plug.
It's like a bathtub.
No lie. No lie.
This
story was told to me by Butch Krieger, who was there that night, and both Miles and Jeremy were there. And it poured for a couple hours, and the place filled up with water. They said they pulled the plug, and they were pulling in a couple hours. So, yeah, unique.
Wow, that
unique
is cool.
Facility.
So light supers are up in Brandenburg, Kentucky tonight. Your favorites, Detonator Black is even money right now. And let's see, Considered Armed and Dangerous, Terry Blackburn's 1-1 basically. A couple long shots, Ridge Runner, and Red IH, Brian Stramnick. So that's where you can really have fun to throw $5 and take a flyer on a 49-1, because if that hits, it's fun. Somebody in Chapel Hill put $10 down, and for whatever reason, Lemke wasn't ranked high. They got second in Tolman Saturday, but they haven't been at that Lemke number 1 level. And
right.
I think they were 30-1, and somebody threw down $10, picked Lemke and Brent Meyer, and won like $650 on a $10 wager.
Which was interesting because Esden came out early in the class, had an excellent run, and it's like the chances of repeating a run like that. You've seen it in pro stocks.
Oh, yeah.
It always happens. Once they get warm. But he came out, and boy, he put it in the winner's circle. It's impressive.
It was awesome.
But yes, that was.
Pro stocks, El Nino's 3-1, Mac Daddy, Julia Ray's 2-1, Loud and Heavy, Brandon Simon's basically even money at 1-1. So is Injected Funds. He's leading the Grand National points, defending Grand National champion, having another awesome season. Brent Meyer, Robbie Lemke's 2-1 tonight.
So there you go. Yeah,
it's fun to watch this from Friday to Saturday, guys. Somebody might be a long shot on Friday night because you have your true pulling fans that know, and then you have just casual fans. Yeah, what the heck? And that's what's fun about it. It's bringing more eyeballs to the sport. But like a Billet Binder, Jack Mays, 20-1. You and I, we all know that tractor can run.
Oh,
It
absolutely.
Can win.
Yeah. Well,
like
top 5 last week down Chapel Hill.
You said it earlier. There isn't one vehicle here that can't win this tonight.
No, not. You've got a lot of Region 2, especially in the mini rod class, and the Region 2 here, in my opinion, is just as competitive as Grand National.
Yep.
Grand National means you can take the time to run a bigger circuit.
Well, you can travel more miles.
Yeah, exactly.
That's what it means. Exactly.
Because back home, like with Badger State, we got some really good pro stocks, but they farm and they milk cows and they want to be home every night, and they're adamant about it. So. Yeah. But it's fun. All right, so 2-wheel drive trucks. I got. See who's my favorites down there. Wicked, Mason Theobald. That's one of those names. How do you? Poor Grant did not have a good Chapel Hill. I feel bad for him. But like he said, A to B, and that's how it goes.
That's right, yep. It's early still.
Yep.
It's still early.
Chase Richardson, Suffer Insanity is pretty much even money. That's him and Brian's truck. Big Stick, Donnie Sullivan, your defending Grand National champion, pretty much even money. But like Shameless David Hunt, that's a tough truck out of Texas.
But now you got to look at going to a facility he's never been to before.
Okay.
And look at the numbers down there. They've got 35 trucks entered down there in Brandenburg, and that track's going to change a whole lot.
Yep.
So that, you got to take that into consideration as well, and, where everybody's lined up here tonight. So that's a tough one.
Yep.
Good luck.
Yeah, Super Farm, Brandenburg, Kentucky. Who won Grand National points last year in Super Farm, guys?
Pure Tracks. Russ Freeze.
Let's see. Here's our favorites here.
And he's had a lot of success down there in Brandenburg. So
Ryan Anderson checking out. His green galvanized stairs checking out. The longest name on the pulling tractor. He's got that new sponsor. He's 2-1. Wolverine Deer, Tony Seatsma. He's kind of a heartfelt. He's kind of a super farm. Kind of like what Esden is to Diesel Supers. He is the super farm.
Yes. When the class started, Seatsma was there. Yes.
Fear the Deer, Wayne Lemroux is a long shot. Binder Express is a long shot. Dan Schulte, that's a top 3 tractor and Grand National points. So there's some opportunities on here yet for people to jump on here.
And especially with Super Farm.
Yes.
Super Farm is a pick 'em deal.
Wait, and that's the thing. That class is so tight with its rules. So a little bit change in track condition, or just a little bit just in the show itself.
Yep.
Somebody finds a good spot on the track or finds a lane that's good. All of a sudden, next thing you know, your 20 to 1 odds or your 49 to 1 odds is all of a sudden jumped up.
So the Outlaws have a big pull tonight in Wayne, Nebraska. So they have some games called head-to-heads.
Right.
Okay, so what they did is they picked 4 vehicles. So it's Buffalo Chips versus Whipping, Richard Morris versus Donald Nelson. You pick which one you think is going to win. It's almost like Ryder Cup, guys.
Okay, but same class.
Same class.
Okay.
And then Little Whip versus High Cotton.
Okay.
So Mendy, Farm Show champion, versus High Cotton, South Marquee. That's Cameron Neve's truck.
That's Neve's truck, yeah.
You pick. It doesn't matter if they go 7th and 8th. As long as if I pick Donald Nelson to beat Richard Morris, they could be 10th and 11th. But as long as Donald Nelson, this is going to be fun.
Yeah, that's going to be a lot of fun.
Because they've showed us a lot of the stuff that's coming in the future, and this is kind of like phase 1.1, if you will, to get people engaged in. Because it's hard. 31 mini rods to pick 2 people to finish in the top 3 when we know any of them could win it.
Good luck. Yeah, good luck.
I mean, you can make multiple wagers, and a lot of people do that, but that's hard. That's hard. So that's 2-wheel drives out in Wayne, Nebraska. Modifieds out in Wayne, Nebraska, guys. So Cameron Neves, Cotton Candy versus Donald Nelson, a Twisted Whip. You pick one of those to win, and then the other side is River Rat, Wayne Longnecker, and then Say Goodbye, Vern Huser. And then you can still do your $5 minimum wager. And then they have 5-0 Pro Stocks out with the Outlaws. That's their Pro Stock class. And tonight they have a lot of green Kyle Carsons versus gone Cody Yarrick. Cody Yarrick is your defending Outlaw champion. He's pretty much even money right now. And then Wampus Cat, Doug Meisinger's driving that tonight, along with Extreme Pleasure versus Taylor Van Beek. So it's fun, those head-to-heads like that. Full Poll's pretty excited to roll those out. But this is the first time, and I really wanted to talk about tonight and kind of explain it to the fans, Dan and Bert. So
yeah, that'll be interesting once that evolves into the NTPA side of things as well.
Yep.
That'll be really neat.
So here at the Fort Recovery, mini rods. Let's see where our favorites are right now. Brian McDonald, your winner at Chapel Hill. No, yeah, Brian got one of the nights in Chapel Hill.
Yes, he did.
And Kester got the other night. Brian's 2-1. Funny little farm, Ken Benny. Oh, he's going to be a fan favorite. He's 1.3-1. He's 21st hook in the class, guys. Grandpa's Disaster, Brian Goose is 2-1. And Iron Toy, Walk the Line, Adam Bauer, 2-1. So those are your top favorites right now in that class.
How about the Super Stock Diesel truck class? This will be interesting to look at.
Tell me what your gut tells you.
Well, because I am going with number 1 hook here, Craig Dickey.
Okay.
Last night in Goshen, Indiana, he almost tore the grandstands down. So I'd be curious to see where the odds are now for that.
He's 3-1.
Okay, all right.
Eric Stacy's basically even money.
Okay.
And Shai Diesel's even money.
Okay.
But like Brady Ingham in Crosswire's 44-1. Nick Gillette, he won. Hutchinson, he's 11-1. Carl Butler with the One Nation hasn't been out a bunch this year, but also very, very tough. But he's 50-1. He's a scratch.
Yep.
We got to take him off of here.
Yep.
Something to prove. Jaden Litman's going to be on the show in a little bit.
Yep.
She's 30-1. Running in the Reds, 40-1. So really, all the money right now is on Trump, Shane Kellogg, and Craig Dickey and Smoking the HD.
Yep.
That's where all the money's running. So if you put a $5 wager on them, you might win $7 if that lines up because they're heavy favorites. But that's how that goes. That's why it's fun to kind of throw a longer shot in there.
Oh, absolutely. It's interesting to see where everything changes overnight. That's the exciting part about it.
Unlimited's Joe Ader. He's even money right now. Adam Bauer, just a little bit higher. The longest shot in that class right now is Ricky Rose with a giddy up, which we know he can pull out a win any night. And then our super semis. I'm gonna bet RJ is gonna be Nikki's Nightmare. Brian Islandthorpe is he's 1.6-1. RJ's 1.2-1. And then Playing with Fire, Ryan DeBrew. Those are your 3 favorites in the semi class there.
Which sounds about right.
Yep. So fans, head over to fullpullpicks.com. That's the website, or go to the Full Pull app and just hit picks. If you haven't signed up yet, they're going to give you $20 into your account, $5 minimum wager. The Outlaw stuff is the head-to-heads, and then all the NTPA shows this weekend. And there will be games up tomorrow. We're going to have some games up. So you're going to start seeing games every single day for all the stuff, because there is a poll every single day.
Yes. They don't call it Hell Week for nothing.
Where's before we bring Brian McDonald in, where's Dan going next? I know you're here at Fort Recovery this weekend.
Fort Recovery this weekend. Next weekend, I'll be going back to New York, see my son.
Okay.
And then the following week, I'll be Hillsboro, Wisconsin. Then we got Bowling Green. We got Shai Diesel Extravaganza. We got Canton. I think we're up until the end of September.
Okay.
We're full up.
What do you got?
I've actually got a little bit of a break.
What?
I'm going to
What?
I'm going to go to Wilson, and then I'm going to Bowling Green, and then that's pretty much it until the end of August.
Yep.
Yep.
I'm here tonight, and I'm going to Lamar's, Iowa tomorrow with the Outlaws, and then I'm in Mendon, Illinois, Sunday night for Excalibur and like some IFPA, and then Monday night they got a PPL show. So I know that promoter down there, so I'll be down there announcing. So, and then next week we have one Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, then Rockwell next week with full
That's
pull,
right, yep.
and it's going to be super, super busy. So Brian McDonald, come on up, buddy. Very little sanity.
Yes, what a weekend. Last weekend down at Bowling Green. A second and a first. This gentleman, as he took over the number one spots, he's got his Chapel Hill hat on.
Well, he should. He has a big chair,
He's
too.
got a big chair sitting at home.
Yeah. So last week, Chase went 298, thumbed it down. Kester comes out, goes 299. Or no, they reset the sled after Chase. They thumbed it down. And you went 303, and you held that thing until the end, until Larry pushed Adam about 15.
That's right, exactly right.
Adam Kester had the longest fist pump in the history of pulling. He started at 225.
Yes.
But on the 5-year anniversary of his dad's passing in Chapel Hill, I don't think you could be mad about that.
Oh, no.
Only Alice in the trailer's like, I just want my dad to win.
Had to wait a day.
Yeah, so she did.
That was pretty cool. And he knew it early. He had
did.
enough speed that he knew it early.
That box, the Iron Boy, when the weight box topped off, Brian, for you guys, it was over.
It was over.
I mean, they were digging in.
And I think later on in the evening, it finally got to the point where the sled was sliding just a little bit easier.
Yep.
And it got, because Chase was going to get there. He had me covered, and he broke the rear end and the axle, but he was going to get there
pulling.
as well. That's pulling. And, those guys, they got a second chance. They got to make a few tweaks and tunes, and they got there. I was the first guy who didn't have an option.
There you go. Right.
No, because inside the trailer, like, did he keep it? Did they reset it? 'Cause
I didn't
always
have an option.
Okay, so now
anyway.
let's rewind.
Yes.
So if you did have the option, would you have turned that down and come back
Well,
later?
it was a good run. It
Okay.
set me back in the seat, went straight. It didn't bobble any up or down. So, yeah, I'd have took it.
So you probably would have took it.
Yeah,
then.
I
Okay.
felt like it was a good run. When you're that early in the class and the track is a little sticky, you can kind of figure that
So
after the mini rods kind of fluff the track up a little bit, and it will tend to, when it's wet, it'll tend to dry out and get a little better. When it's dry, it'll tend to get hard.
Okay.
So you know.
We had Adam on the show last Saturday night, and he said that the Friday night track was wetter
Yes,
than he
no
had seen
question.
in a while. But then he could tell by just looking out already that Saturday night was going to be
just a little drier.
Yep.
And it didn't really change. It was probably the perfect mix of balance where the track did. I don't think the track changed at all. Ken was fifth hook, and he went 354, and I was 11th hook and was able to get by him. And I felt like the track stayed consistent the whole night. So I was real happy with that.
So now let me ask you. So now do you, as being like a test puller, do you have a mental checklist? Like you go down, like you just told me, you said, well, weight was pretty good. We had a pretty good hole shot. I mean, are there things you just work down and say, okay, we're going to take it?
Well, yeah, the test, yes, absolutely.
Okay, so
But
as a test puller, I should say.
But I wasn't test puller.
Well,
so
no, I know
didn't have
that. I know, but I was
option,
just going back to,
Yeah,
when
you're
you are a test puller.
Yeah, I
that's-
think if you had a good smooth run, well, I don't know. If you have a good smooth run and say that track is a little sticky, the smart thing would be to come back.
Okay.
But
okay.
if you have a good run, it's so hard to turn it down when you're first
If
hook.
it feels that good,
Yeah,
why
it feels,
turn it down?
and that's put in another run. I can remember years back I was helping Keith with the Super B tractor, and he was first hook, and it was for the points championship, and he went like 319 or something like that, had his foot on the brake the whole run, and he turned it down. And I said, Keith, that was good enough. I said a little prayer for one run. I don't think I got anything else.
I don't
for
think I
two
got
runs.
another one left
Yeah.
in me.
But he came back and he went like 325 and won it. But, he always liked to pull twice. He just
Okay.
liked to pull.
That was just the way.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's the way he was. If he was first hook and anything wrong with it at all, he was coming back.
So now, Brian, let's go in the Wayback Machine.
Okay.
Okay, let's go back when you started.
Yeah.
We have sound effects for that.
Yeah, here we go. We're going to
Okay,
go back.
way back.
So we're going to go way back when you
At
started pulling.
1983.
1983.
First time I pulled a modified something that wasn't farm stock. I can't remember farm stock. I just don't remember.
Right,
it was before,
right.
a couple years before that I did. But 1983 was the first year I was out of school. In the winter between 82 and 83, I built it was a Massey Harris rear end, big block Chevy, an automatic transmission, and 24-inch Firestone tires.
There you go.
And
For what was the power plant?
it was a big block Chevy,
Big block
just
Chevy.
carbureted,
Okay.
big block Chevy. and pulled the 5,000 and 7,000 pound class with it.
Did that for a couple years?
Only 1 year.
Okay.
I broke that rear end, and between 83 and 84, Sonny Owens was my neighbor, and he had a fire, and he had a tractor with a John Deere skidder rear end, and I bought that rear end from him that was in the fire because he rebuilt that tractor with Ralph Banner set up, state of the art and everything.
He was in school buses, wasn't he?
He was a school bus operator.
Okay.
Yes.
Harwood Honker. Yes.
Harwood Honker.
Long-time fans
yes.
remember that one. Ford Power.
Yeah. He was a great neighbor. And anyway, I bought that rear end from him, and in the next year, I put 2 big block Chevys on with that skidder rear end and ran it a couple years. And
did you name your tractor back then?
The first one I think was the Midnight Special, and I think the second one was Sufferin' Succotash.
Succotash.
I think that's what I remember.
Okay. So there's
that's where the
suffering
started.
Started back then.
1984. Right. You've been suffering since 84.
So then we evolved to?
Then I had Ralph Banner build me a big tractor rear end for a triple engine, and I had the chassis built and stuff, and I was just like, this is not what I want to run as 3 blown engines. I did, but it just wasn't financially feasible or able to conquer that much work. And so I cut that rear end out, and Ralph built me a 2-wheel drive rear end. I went to the Super Pole, maybe 86, and the 2-wheel drives really put on a good show. We're just kind of starting out, and I said, boy, I think I would like that single blown engine. That would work good. And so he built me a 2-wheel drive rear end, and we did a C-cab. There was a fiberglass place in Baltimore, and right beside the speed shop up there, Speed Unlimited, and they had a machine shop, and the C-cab was on the side of the wall of their business, and so I ordered a C-cab, and that was our first 2-wheel drive, and let me think, I pulled that in 86 or 87, in 88. I got married, and I sold the 2-wheel drive to Stockett's, and they made the check out to the lumber company for a house.
For the house,
built.
yep.
Yes,
there you go.
Yes, and
the McDonald's delivery.
Yes, exactly.
The McDonald's delivery, yep. That was the first time I had seen Brian.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, it worked good. It was a good pulling truck. Ralph Banner helped me with that, and it worked good. I didn't have the state-of-the-art power plant. It was just a big block Chevy. I think we had a 871 on it at first, then we went to a 1071, then I think we did go to a 1471, but that was a lot of air for a big block Chevy.
Yeah.
You did a lot of pulling with that truck. You
I
would
did,
go year-round
yes.
with it. I mean,
Yeah.
you'd pull indoors, you'd pull outdoors.
I can remember one year I made 50 hooks between the indoors and outdoors.
Wow.
And, it's kind of a survival mode
yeah.
at that point.
Some pretty unique places you pulled indoors?
We were Niagara Falls, I can remember.
That's where I saw
that. That was fun and really pretty up there, but dead of the winter, so you're scared to death to drive around Buffalo.
Yes.
In the dead of
Have
the
Wayne
winter.
Sullivan tell you the story about driving up there in a blizzard one day.
Yeah. Well, it can happen at any
It
time.
did,
You
yes.
know?
The lake effect snow, right?
Yep.
Yeah. It can be sunny like this, and then
Once you go
half
through
an
the
hour.
lake effect and up to Niagara Falls, the sun will be out.
Yeah.
It's just
Wow.
that little stretch.
And some of the roads have 20-foot walls, or they're
the markers
cut
on
through
the
or
side.
something.
Yep.
And they have to have snow blowers to blow them out. You can't get through, and it's over. So, but we were lucky. We got in and got out, and we did go to Long Island, New York. And quick story: they didn't have GPS back then, and
They didn't have maps back then.
they didn't have maps.
Well, they had the Rand McNally. That's how you did it back then.
Yeah, well, I didn't know it, but I had a route planned out, and it was to go through the southern part of New York. I think it was the George Washington Bridge we crossed, and as soon as we get across it, I think it was about $25 to cross it, too. And there's a sign that says no vehicles over 33 foot long on the turnpike. So we had to turn around and come back, and then we were going through downtown New York, and it was
with a big rig, with an 18
and not knowing where to go either. But we finally got there to Nassau Coliseum, and that was interesting.
Did you find a different way back home, I assume?
We went the correct way back home.
I like how he hesitated. We went the correct
way.
way.
Yes.
Yeah.
I like
So
that.
then after you built the house, then you decided to come on back.
Exactly. Got to Ralph Banner, build me another rear end, and bought frame rails from him. And that was the truck. Pulled it, I think, till 1995. in 95, I sold it to Roland Barr and was going to build a Twin Allison tractor. And
Allison.
Yeah, they are wonderful.
They are the coolest.
Yes, and I went up to, Tim Engler had built me a bare chassis, and just frame rails and a rear end. And I went up to Earl Henderson's at the time in Pennsylvania to look how he'd done the driver's compartment and the fenders, get some ideas. And he said, don't finish that tractor. He said, just buy that one over there that I've got. I want to sell it. So I did. It was a single Allison with a blown Chevy behind it. And I ran it for 2 years and ended up, we had children and needed a little time off. So I ended up selling that to the Reineke brothers in Illinois.
Okay, so now we have to back up again.
Okay.
Let's go back to the Midnight Mistress. Here we go. Back to the Midnight Mistress. We're leaving out an important piece of history
I'm
here.
sorry.
Yeah, Dan has your interview set up.
I apologize for taking over.
You know, the first year they did the rings at Bowling Green.
Oh, yes.
This gentleman right here with that truck.
Yes.
In the two-wheel drive class. Tell us all about it.
We were the first ring winner that year of the two-wheel drive class. We took the week and went to the Ohio State Fair, and it was doing pretty good. It had a Alan Johnson Oldsmobile engine in it, and it was the first year we ran that, and it was working good. It really was, and I can remember John Hallman was there, and I wasn't bragging. I was just telling the fact. I said, well, I hadn't gotten worse than maybe a third or fourth or something with it, and it'd been doing really good. He said, well, that'll change here.
Oh, there you go.
And I didn't take offense to it. You know, it was all good, but it didn't change.
Yep.
He never said anything, but it didn't change. But it did. That truck worked really, really good, and we were able to. We had to work on it. You know, we were cutting tires and replacing valve springs on the engine and stuff. And at that time, we were working with little field blowers, and we were having. They were trying. That's when the high helix superchargers came out and the setback rotors, the retrofit deal they called it. And we were having trouble with one of their. They were drag racing. You know, the alcohol funny cars were running that blower at the time, and we couldn't get it to work that well. It was a real peaky power where it didn't have low end, and it would hook. If it did hook up, it would pull the engine down. So we sent it back. I said, this just isn't going to work. And he went back to the old style where he changed the inlet of the thing, and it changed the torque curve on it then, and boy, it just matched perfectly, and it really worked well. And once I got that working, that was a game changer. And now they've got inserts in the back there where you can change it in, half hour.
Absolutely.
Then you had to change the whole case
and
stuff and send it out to Littlefields. But we got that working, and boy, it really was a combination. It was a long stroke engine. It was smooth power and had a lot of grunt to it, and you could run just a little bit faster gear, and everything worked good on it. So anyway, yeah, we won that. I think that was in 1993.
That was correct. Yes.
We won. We had, I think, a second and third out of it, and we.
Because that was a whole new deal.
Yeah,
I mean, that was like everybody showed up, and it was like. Wow, and I mean, there was some, 50-some two-wheelers.
Yeah,
and
it was.
Best in the country.
And if I remember, it was maybe a pull-off at some point. And, it was really fun. And to make it even, they had a Buckeye Challenge that included the State Fair at Columbus right through to
Bowling Green.
Yep.
And I can't remember if I won it, but if I didn't, I got second in that too. And even back then, it was probably as much or more money to win than
it was to win the challenge.
Yeah, it was just it was a good weekend. Because I think even to win Bowling Green was maybe $1,500 back then. That was pretty cool.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah,
and,
absolutely.
We were fortunate enough we were able to do it again in '95, and. So that was pretty cool.
Then you sold the truck.
I did.
You said it went to Roland Barr. He had success with it.
Yes.
Down the road there, and then like you say, you we're planning on going modified, and then
we ran that Allison Chevy deal for 2 years, and then I took a little break and started building it. Matter of fact, when I delivered that Allison Chevy deal to the Reineke brothers at the farm show pool, I think in '98, the winter of '98, and they picked up a chassis, two-wheel drive chassis from Tim Engler and brought it back. So I started working on it right away, but I didn't pull it right away. Took a few years off building it and stuff, and then we started pulling that again in the early 2000s, and that was the I had a T-bucket on it, and it even had bought a C-cab to put on it, and that's when, what was it, TNT at that time?
I think so.
Not
Or
at that time.
USRH?
No, that was ATPA. ATPA
Okay.
had the rule you couldn't run the T-buckets.
You couldn't run the
Remember?
T-bucket.
Yep,
Yeah.
that's right.
So anyway, we put a Willys body on it, and that was pretty cool. So anyway, that's
Suffer Insanity, and then we went on to, and then
yes.
then
yes.
your daughter took over driving that
Yes.
one. You took over the mini rod.
Yes, yeah. Then we were pulling in 2019. We were out at the machine shop. I tell you, I have to back up a minute on the mini ride deal. How that started, the planetary rear end. The Europeans had come out with the planetary rear end, and nobody. Well, I shouldn't say that. Todd Boltman.
Todd Boltman.
Boltman.
Yeah.
Boltman. Yes,
Yeah.
TRB.
Yeah.
TRB
Yeah.
had
Yes,
the
Todd.
planetary rear end. And anyway, TRB had it, and Brett Berg wanted a planetary rear end. So I said, Brad, I got a rear end I bought from military surplus. I think that it'll work for the mini ride, because I was going to try it in the two-wheel drive. And so he said, Brett Berg was looking for a rear end. He said, well, let's bring it out. So we bought it out to the pull in Canfield, Ohio, the one where you have to wait to cross the track.
Yes.
Is
Yep.
that correct?
That's Canfield. Yep.
That's Canfield. And we were in line, and I can't remember, Brett Berg comes over, and Brad's in there, and we're looking at this rear end, and we all think, yeah, we think this will work, you know. So Brad built that first rear end for Brett, and we ran it. And I thought, boy, I think I'd like to try this. So I was out there, I believe it was the summer of 2019, and I said, Brad, I think I want to try it, but I want a Chromoly 2 chassis. I don't want the aluminum frame rails. I think that was the first one he built. I want to go Chromoly, and, let's try that. So he gave me a piece of 4x8 sheet of cardboard and said, well, draw up what you want. So I spent half a day drawing it. I said, what do you think this way? No, that doesn't look good. Let's do this way. So anyway, he built that. I guess one or two of those chassis. I know Richardson's got the first one, and he had it done for the COVID year 2020.
Hey, Jay, how are you? Come on
But I didn't pull it that summer.
Right.
So we pulled it in 2021 for the first time, and that's the story of the mini rod.
That's the story of the mini rod, and that'll take us up here to modern right now. That is currently the points leader. We don't want to talk too much about that. We're just going to touch on that very lightly here.
Ken Veening stopped by, and we were talking about it, and he says, I can't win the points this year. And so he pulled up Marty was with him. He pulls up the points. He said, yeah, Ken's 14 points behind first. I said, he can wipe that out in one night. He said, well, go ahead if you want to.
Yeah, with 31 in the class, yeah, that can happen pretty quick.
Adam Bauer wasn't that far behind, and he can get on a roll and make it up in a hurry. So there's at least 8 that can do it, and probably 10 that have a really strong chance. I think it's going to be exciting.
Oh, absolutely. It's going to be a great show. We're joined by Jaden Litman here out of West Virginia. Jaden, glad to have you on hand here tonight.
Thank you.
First time pulling here in Fort Recovery.
Yep.
Tell us a little bit about yourself. I mean, new on the Grand National Circuit. We saw you in Louisville this year at the Farm Show.
Yeah.
You qualified to get down into there. Who had you been running with previous? And, obviously, kind of dipping toe into the Grand National Circuit.
Yeah, I've been pulling with Full Pool for a good while. We've been pulling with them for most of the year. And they're just in PA, so it makes it easier to travel and stuff. But it's nice to come to these events because they're so big, and there's a bunch of people we haven't seen for a while.
And kind of see how you do against the traveling pros
Yeah.
kind of thing. See how you do against the guys you look up to kind of thing.
Yeah.
Now, you pull with Full Pull, it's a run what you brung class over there, isn't it?
Yes.
So you run against, like, blower trucks and a little bit of everything, isn't it?
Yeah, it's
Okay.
a little bit of everything. There's gassers, nitrous, anything.
Anything goes over there. But so now this is your first Grand National hook here of 2024?
Yes.
Okay, so do you plan on making a few more? I know we seen you Bowling Green last year.
Yeah,
you
we'll be at Bowling Green.
All right.
Yeah,
That's
that one's
good.
definitely fun.
So now, have you looked down through the list here and said, who we're looking at, who are we going to watch here? I noticed you drew kind of in the middle of the field here.
Yeah, I haven't looked at it yet. Not completely.
Okay. So now, pulling wise, is this the first thing you've ever pulled, or did you come from garden tractors? Or?
No, we came from street trucks.
Okay.
We started with a street truck and then worked our way up to like a bigger class, like 2.5, 2.6. And then Sean Hodges actually talked my dad into buying the super stock.
Okay.
So then we ended up here.
Hodges were, very successful in the class.
Yeah,
and,
they definitely are.
kind of, put their mark, and then they kind of moved on to other things. And fortunate for you, though, you were able to purchase a truck. And now, where in West Virginia are you? For the fans
New
that don't
Martinsville.
know. Okay.
It's like 60 miles south of Wheeling, West
Okay.
Virginia, Northern Panhandle.
Okay, so not too far when you run the full pull events then.
No,
You're kind of relatively close.
Not completely. So,
And what do we do during the week when we're not pulling?
college work, high school, depends.
Okay.
And then
so
I go to work for my dad
Okay.
most of the time.
And excavating?
Yes.
Okay. Big excavating company over there, and you said you're in college?
We just started in our college class.
Okay.
So I'm still in high school, but we can take college classes in high school.
Boy, that is something. You remember your first car? Mine was a Chevette.
Yeah, I was going to say I had an old Ford Ranger, so yeah.
To get in one of these, 3,000 horsepower super stock diesel trucks, that's got to be something.
Yeah, it's definitely.
And of course, every time you drive it, it's one of those things where you're learning all the time, and you got to love it.
Yeah, I learn something new every single time I get in the truck. Learn how to drive it better. I get opinions from everyone.
I was going to
which
ask
really
you.
helps.
Yeah, do you get you lean on some people, certain
Yeah.
people for advice and different things?
Yeah, most of the time I get pep talks before from mostly everyone. They try to help me.
Good
but
deal.
It really does help.
Well, we'll see how things go here this weekend. Hopefully, we have a couple nice runs there, and you guys are happy with it, and we'll see a little bit more out on the Grand National Circuit. I know you got to get down there and get the truck ready.
Yeah.
The super stock diesel truck class is up first here tonight, so we thank you for joining us.
Thank you
and
for having me.
we'll let you go here, get back. I know I know the nerves are probably
Yeah, they're definitely
getting
kicking
going
in.
here a little bit. So good luck tonight and this weekend, and hope to see you have a couple nice runs.
Okay, thank
you. Good luck. So, fans, that was Jaden Litman joining us here on Full Pull Live. Jason's got the more of the. Here we got our next guest coming in, guy that needs no introduction. The current points leader here in the Super Stock Open class, coming off a couple grinding days of pulling in Goshen, Indiana. He's here in Fort Recovery to carry on. Mr. Jeff Hordem.
Yes, well, thank you so much for having me here. I really appreciate the opportunity to come and talk to you guys, and I love what you're doing, and anything to promote the sport of pulling and get the views and the sponsorships and everything else out there. That's what we're all here to do, because if we didn't have the sponsors, we didn't have the fans, we didn't have the promoters, we didn't have the event venues, none of us would be doing what we love to do.
Absolutely. So let's talk about the Super Stock Open class here in 2024. I mean, not a whole lot of hooks, but you guys got enough here this year to – they're working on it.
Yeah, we got 10. You got Benson, you got Toma, you got here at Fort Recovery, Rockwell, Iowa here next week, and then we finish up Bowling Green. So I'd like to have a couple more. So any promoters out there watching and listening, looking to have the Super Stock Opens, we'd love to come to your event.
Well, great numbers here this weekend.
Very good. I think we got 14 tonight.
14 or 15, I think I saw in the lineup. Which is very good for this class.
Yes.
We've seen where, sometimes they've been a little light, but this year have been pretty strong here, starting out in Benson, North Carolina.
Yes, we've had a great list of competitors down there, and Toma didn't disappoint either. And we're obviously doing well here at Fort Recovery on numbers. So, yes, it is very good. Glad all the guys are coming out and shaking off the cobwebs and getting the equipment out of the barns and everything else and coming out and pulling. That's what we need to keep this class growing.
So where do you see the future for the Super Stock Open class? You see it more competitors getting into it here down the road, or?
Well, I tell you, we sold our motor before the Blackburn motor. We sold our motor to some folks in the Ohio-Indiana border, and they're going to be coming out. They're not as quick as I'd like to have them come out, but I also know there's another tractor, another super stock that's coming out. It was supposed to be in Goshen, but I think he ran into a little bit of troubles. But that's coming out. So I know it's 2.
Okay.
So I don't know. Maybe you know more. But
that's always good to hear.
I know there's 2, and I know the other guys that we sold the motor to, they want to come out on the national circuit. So they want to come out and play.
So that's good. Yeah, that's. And now tell us, we got new sponsorship here for 2024 on the team.
Yeah, new primary sponsor, B-Tech and Breck Bueller Scales out of Canton, Ohio, based out of Canton, Ohio. They've got several locations throughout the states. I think about 6 or 7 different locations. But yeah, they're a great sponsor to have on board. And we also have Tonka Services, a local commercial motor vehicle repair and towing service near us at our hometown, right outside of Malvern, Ohio. So they're on board just recently, actually here within the last week. So that's a new one that's on. So you got to thank the sponsors. You got to thank the sponsors. I tell you right now, Dan, we would not be pulling on the national level, if at all, if we didn't have our sponsors.
Well, we were talking a little bit earlier about that. I mean, your team is one of those teams that they really go above and beyond for the sponsorship. I mean, you're always out there nice and early. You've got, nice display, always everything looking good. I mean, that's one thing about all you pullers. I mean, really, the vehicles are first class look. I mean, if somebody has never been to a pull before and they come and just, in every place should have open pit areas, because I say that all the time, because if you take one look at all these vehicles, you're hooked.
Yes.
And that's what did it for me.
Absolutely, yes. Not only just seeing them on the track, but coming back into the pits and talking to the competitors, looking up close to the machines. Yeah, you can see them out on the track, but you got to get up close and look at them, and it's really neat, and it's an awesome experience. If you haven't come to a tractor pull, get to a tractor pull, and if you haven't come to the pits, make sure you stop by, talk to us, and say hi. And
one thing I learned as a young kid, watching Brian McDonald, everybody always would, invite you in, talk about their vehicle. I mean, even as a young, 10, 12-year-old, yeah, you guys were always, and it's always been that way.
Yeah.
That's always been one of the things I always talk about pulling, is the pullers were always so open to talking with you. There was no, whether it was Dave Banner to, Brian McDonald, didn't matter.
Right, and it's like much more of it's a pulling family.
Right.
We're a very cohesive. We may not know everybody, but we're a very cohesive group and come from good family backgrounds. The farming community, the trucking community, and all these other areas come together, and they're very social, very open people, and it's just great. And that's what I think. That's what I love about the sport the best.
Yeah, I think tonight we're going to have an outstanding crowd here. They're already starting to line the hillside here.
Beautiful.
We couldn't ask for
beautiful.
Yeah.
July night.
The weather's been perfect.
Yeah. How lucky.
Any questions here for our point leaders here? We got 2 point leaders here.
Here's my biggest question.
This is not good.
Hang on.
Get ready.
I'm from down south, so
No way. No.
You couldn't tell. I know you couldn't. So here's one of the things I've heard about this track. Now, I've heard if you're over here on this side, that it will pull you to the wall.
Correct.
So, we talk about adjustments. One of the big things we talk about, changing weights, hitch height, tire pressures, the whole 9 yards. What are some of the things, especially in mini rods, because y'all are running high wheel speed. What are your wheel speeds now in Superstock? 80?
70, 80. Yeah, depending on gear selection, yeah.
So what do y'all do to counteract that pull? What's one of the things? You ain't got to give all of your secrets, but what's one thing you can do? Throw a little weight to that one wheel over
Don't worry,
there?
nobody's listening, guys.
Yeah,
right. No audience.
Nobody's paying attention.
All the pullers are saying, he's going to say something right now.
Everybody listen up.
With the mini rod, you pray.
Yeah.
Lots of it.
Yep.
Yeah, before you go.
Yeah. Just go straight, please.
Yeah. You kind of have to aim the tractor.
Yeah.
That's the big thing. Figure out where you're starting, and if you're first hook, you just got to do faith. But it'll kind of tell you and say, hey, we'll sneak down this lane or that lane or something like that. That's about really all we can do. Is correct early and often, rather than to kind of let it get out of shape.
So if you have a good straight run, you're more religious after that, right?
Absolutely.
Point it and punch it.
Yeah.
Right? Point it and punch.
Punch.
Point and pray is.
There you go.
That's what Adam.
Point, pray, punch.
Yeah. But I'll stay at the machine shop this week out in Van Buren, and every Wednesday they have a preacher that comes out to the roadside at the lunch hour, and he'll say a prayer for you. And Allison says, Dad, I think you better go to the roadside prayer this week.
She's trying to tell you something, Bert?
I guess so.
Yeah,
yes,
I
think maybe that we'll take a break and run up there.
So how about the big super stock?
Well, it's different. You can do a couple different things. Same deal. You point in the right direction. Sometimes you can set the sled on a you can set the sled on the left in this particular situation. Set the sled on the left-hand side, shoot to the right, cross track.
Yep.
Sometimes that works. Sometimes it doesn't. You can always add more weight to the side that in this particular situation, if you're getting pulled left, you'd want to add it to the left side.
Yep.
To be honest with you, I think it's more of a mental thing because I don't think that works for us in the 8,000-pound class. I don't think that works. It just makes you feel better.
That's right.
Yeah, it just makes you feel better. I don't think it makes a dang good difference. It just makes you feel better. Yes, I did that. I tried.
I did it.
I tried.
I did.
Yeah. But no, it just like you said, get on the brake early and don't let stuff go crazy too soon because once you do, then you got to stab the brake. They want to stab the brake. You got to put some decent pressure, and that kills your distance.
That's right. Yeah.
The sooner it's like. I try to explain to people, pushing the brakes, especially on mini rods, I would assume. But I try to imagine an egg underneath my foot between the brake pedal.
Yeah,
you don't want to crush the egg. Now, granted, there's going to be more pressure. It's going to crush the egg. But mentally,
yes.
Easy. Okay, shit, I need some more. Well, sorry. I need some more. I need some more. Oh, okay, now I can back off, or, whatever the case may be. But, it's
start easy.
Start easy, hope for the best, and then.
I know all about the egg. I'm an old dirt racer, so when we're on a slick track, we always had the egg underneath the gas pedal. So that was always. But you're just the opposite.
But. Yeah. Right. Yep. No, same principle. Yeah, absolutely. And then the whole shot that you got to pay attention to that.
Oh yeah,
too, so.
Absolutely. Whole shot, big deal. And
And
first 50 feet, just like you're talking about. Adam knew at 200 feet, he had it.
Yep.
So
yeah, you're going to know how well you do in the first 50, 75 feet.
Yeah. And of course, track conditions here at the fort always
pretty darn good.
Pretty darn good.
Exceptional.
Yeah.
Yes.
Usually it's not an excuse.
Yeah.
I can't blame it on the track.
Right. Yeah. Right. Yeah. We don't want to blame the drivers.
Now we'll blame it on the drivers.
We don't want to blame it on the drivers. We want to blame it on the track. That's easy.
That's right.
Well, fans, make sure you get your picks in here. We're going to start 7 o'clock. Showtime here tonight. We've got just a great field of classes. I mean, if you have the opportunity, head on through the pits. If you're heading out here to Fort Recovery, you're going to watch on the live stream. It's going to be an outstanding show. I know the lineups were up earlier in the week. And what are you guys looking at your starting position? I got to ask you about that, too. You get your starting position early in the week now, so you're already, the mental is starting already. You're like, on your way out here, you're like, geez, we didn't, so you're kind of.
I like it. You get to prepare. If you're first hook, you get to prepare wherever you're at. I don't know if it helps.
Right.
But I like it.
Okay.
It increases the mental anxiety.
Yeah,
I was just going to say.
I would agree.
Well, guys, always a great time talking with you guys. Thanks for coming out here tonight.
Thank
Once
you
again,
all.
fans, get your picks in for the full pull here and full pull live tonight, 7 o'clock. And we're going to have an outstanding show. So good luck tonight, guys, and we'll see how things go. We don't want to jinx anybody, but current points leader in both the Super Stock Open and the Mini Rods.
Let's get her done, boys.
Good luck tonight, guys.
All right,
and we'll see you folks tomorrow.
Thank
All
you.
right, thank you, guys.
Thank you. Jeff, thank you.
Hannah, sit next to Dan.
Dan, hello.
Hey, nice to see you.
Nice to see you.
We're going to talk about Becks with Hannah, guys. Sarah's coming up right now.
Okay.
Dan, a good couple of minutes.
Okay.
Talk about Becks, what they're doing for the NTPA.
Okay.
Sarah can help out.
All right. Fellow New Yorker, former. Well, she's from New York.
You know what I need to say here?
Buffalo, right? Yeah. Like
She's
Rochester.
about 30 miles from where I used to live.
Yep, Dan announced polls that I grew up going to.
Oh, really?
She's what, Attica? And
Yep.
I was Lancaster, so we were pretty close. Didn't know that until last week.
Mm-hmm.
Small world.
We all set? Hello? Check. We're
check.
good?
Very good.
All right, well, we're back here. We've got Beck from Hannah's. Or let me start over. We got Hannah from Becks here tonight.
Yes.
First time we've seen you here at Fort Recovery.
Yes. I've been here more than once before.
Oh, nice.
My dad has pulled at this for years and years, but
Really? So who would Dad be?
Jeff Usner,
Okay.
Milroy, Richland area.
Okay.
Indiana. So Busted Budget.
Busted Budget, yes.
Budget is busted.
Busted.
That's why we're not here this year,
Yeah.
but they're building a new tractor. So
Very nice.
First year they've missed in a while.
So you've been around this quite a while then.
Just a little, yeah.
Well, that's good. That's good.
Yeah.
Well, we're glad to have you on hand
Thank
here
you.
once again,
Thank
and glad to have Becks on board here with the NTPA.
Absolutely.
And you guys, what are you bringing here to the NTPA here for 2024?
Yeah, I just felt like this was a natural fit. When Dan approached us about being with NTPA, it just felt so natural because, we're serving farmers across the entire Midwest, from Ohio to Nebraska, from South Dakota down to Arkansas, and it just felt like a natural fit with who we're serving and the messages that we're trying to get across. So we were really excited, and we honestly couldn't say yes fast enough. So it's been a really good season so far. We've obviously been through pools all across this whole entire Midwest territory. So we still have a lot left, though.
Yeah, absolutely. We've seen up in Farley, Iowa, Tomah,
Yes.
Wisconsin,
Yes.
all points in between here. And, glad that you guys came out here this weekend. Now, who else you got with you here this weekend?
So this weekend we have myself. I work in the marketing department here at Becks. We have my fiance who also works at Becks.
Oh.
And then we have one of our practical farm research location leads here in Atlanta. He's going to be here with us tonight. So we got to have a wild mix of who's here, but. Throughout Ohio, we're going to have all of our sales team here, and especially with Bowling Green coming up in a few weeks, we're going to have the whole.
You're going to be out in full force at Bowling
full
Green,
force,
right?
Full army.
Now, you've been to Bowling Green before, I assume?
I have not.
No, really?
I have not, actually.
Okay.
I think the farthest we've gone is like Greenville.
Okay.
I'll just put it to you this way: it's an experience.
That's what I've heard.
It is an experience like no other pool. This is a great facility, but there is no other experience other than Bowling Green.
I unfortunately cannot go that weekend, but I know personal reasons.
Oh, okay.
But,
well,
yeah.
I told the team, I was like, you guys better be ready. We got the tent, we got the giveaway stuff. Like, we're gonna be full force with everything we got for Bowling Green. So.
Well, that's great. Glad to have Becks on board here
Absolutely.
for 2024. Sarah, would you like to add anything?
Hannah, what are we throwing out tonight?
We are throwing out, so guys, these are like specialty items to where these are NTPA only, founded in faith, forged in America, Becks t-shirts.
Oh, wow.
Oh, okay.
Light blue, we do not sell these t-shirts anywhere else. We don't even give away these t-shirts anywhere else, so they are exclusive to NTPA only.
Wow.
So,
Okay.
if you see us down there in the bright green shirts, you better jump up, wave your
Scream,
hand,
holler.
Get your
scream,
shirt. Yeah.
say something. I don't know. Let me throw you a shirt.
Wave your hat, program.
And if you
person
have
next
a
to you.
competitor hat, I will gladly take it and give you a shirt in trade.
There you go.
Yeah.
Well, glad to have you here
Thank you
once
so
again.
much.
And once again, fans, Becks Hybrids, we thank them for being on the board here for 2024, and we hope to see you down the road.
Yep.
Thanks for joining us.
Make sure to get your t-shirts tonight.
Yes. Please get your t-shirt.
Yeah, scream loud.
Scream loud.
Yep.
Official. Well, we're joined here by Brent Payne, Mr. GMS himself. Glad to have you here, Brent. What do you got? Let's talk about the driving side of things here this weekend. You driving anything, or are you just going to be representing GMS here this weekend?
I drove the Kenworth.
You drove the
Yeah,
you drove the truck over. Okay.
I don't get to drive anything this weekend.
Okay.
John's going to drive the Super Stock. Holt will drive his Mini, of course. And my son, Johnny's going to drive in the Region 2 Modified class tomorrow. So, nope, I got to wait till next week.
So you did bring that hot run and modified with you?
Yeah.
Okay.
We've got
All right.
3 runs on it now, and it's really doing well.
It's impressive. Tell us about GMS.
Well, GMS, we provide parts for a lot of things in pulling world, mostly driveline parts and engine components. We provide a lot of stuff to the dealers, so to speak, or shops that assemble. The biggest things we do, like for the light modified class and the modified class, of course, is the billet differential. We do some planetary work as well and things like that. So.
Now, I had the opportunity, you showed me, gave me a tour of the shop there. Very impressive. A lot of people out there working and, building your products. Tell us about the history of GMS. How did it get started?
Yeah, so back in the 80s, Gene Sharber started the company in his basement, and it was kind of like he was a real particular guy, worked for the phone company and wanted to go tractor pulling. And they built an Oliver 88 with his neighbor, and he kind of evolved from there, but he never really got out pulling, a lot. He built a 4010 John Deere, and he ran it 1 year on the Ohio State circuit, and it went to Wayne Kennedy in Michigan, and then my dad bought it from Wayne Kennedy. So we kind of, Gene was a long-time close friend, and then he kind of wanted me to come work for him. So I went to work for him in the basement of his house. I bought the company from him in 2008, and we've just kind of steadily increased ever since then for good and bad. So
well, there you go. And where are you located at?
We are in a town called Shandon, Ohio. It's a small town just northwest of Cincinnati, about 25 miles.
Would you like to add anything?
Well, here's my question. So you've got the weekend off, right? So what are you going?
Well, I would say.
Hold on. Let me rephrase that.
Yeah.
You've got the weekend out of the seat.
Yes.
Do you kind of enjoy those weekends where you can sit back and just watch them run?
Sometimes, yeah, I do. It's been. Of course, we've had some successes of late. A lot of the things we had done in the last few years to try to get better with, they failed or we just got lost, and finally things come back around, and just a mindset change of we are going to go have fun and then be there as a team and as a family, and the Stricklands and Wells, all that's our family. Barry Elliker and his wife Chris and Jacob. We just have a really nice time, and we go and have fun. And we are not curing the world's problems here. We're here to go tractor pulling.
That's right.
And I have customers that don't think that way, but that's the way it is. So we're here to have fun and to support that, and that's what we're going to do.
Yep.
It's got to feel good to watch your son go down the track.
Yeah, absolutely.
Him learning every time he goes out there, and as a dad that's pulled for years and years, and of course with your dad, and
absolutely. A year ago I didn't think he was going to be alive. He was hurt really bad, and now he's out there driving a 2-engine modified tractor, and he does like he's done it 100 times. I put him on a seat at Marion, Ohio, the first time, Brad Benedict's hometown, and he did great. And then the second time at Wilmington, Ohio, he drove it, and it was just perfect. He did a great job. He was within 2 feet of Wayne Sullivan, and it's like, and we're way in less than that tractor. We're not weighed up to the region class. We're going to try a little bit more tomorrow, but
right.
I'm really happy with that. This year he's going to drive the Region 2 stuff. I'm going to do the Grand National, and then next year we'll see. Maybe he can drive some Grand National or all of it or whatever. But I've got another son, too, that's coming up, and I don't know how that's going to all work.
Oh, yeah, that's going to work with the budget there. You're going to have to.
No, the budget's done, right?
Yeah, definitely exciting class.
It's
glad
really
that they brought back the light modifieds, and
it
was always a favorite of mine when I was a kid. They always put on a great show.
Same here. And there has to be a stepping stone up. That you can't just go out and buy 3 or 4 motors and jump into an unlimited tractor. It's just not. There still has to be some kind of a feeder.
Well, they're fun. They're a great class to watch too, because they pick up the front ends high.
Absolutely.
They're fast, and they're of course the louder the better.
We've had some. I know they had some trouble with the sled settings and stuff. The light tractors taking off, and of course the tractors are adjusting to the combination too. But the European light modifieds really that helped us tremendously because we got a ton of data right up front, right? So they've got an excellent class in Europe. I would like to see some more combinations of engines in the class myself.
Right, yeah.
The Hemis are going to take over, right? That's where the knowledge and the power's at. But I still want to see some turbines. I just want to see some Allisons and 6 cylinders and things like that.
Kind of
just
bring
open
up the old school. Kind of like it was in the old days when you had your V12s and your turbines.
Yeah, I would like to see that. And now it's not going to be the most prominent, but it would still be something for the fans to see. So.
Well, and you never know the track conditions. They can always slide up depending on how the track is.
Sure. And the creativity's there.
Yeah.
I love the creativity of the sport. And it's kind of sometimes it goes away. Of course, we stepped right into that bowl, but you can only stick your head in the vise so long with a super stock tractor. So this is a nice change for us.
Yeah, that was my next question about it. How was it going from super stock you've been in for so long to getting over into the modified and hey, this is really cool.
Well, we're learning it together. So my sons and I and my wife's helping out and all that. We're learning the process together with the modified. Now it's pistons, rod sleeves, and air, fuel, but it's just the arrangement of all of it's a little different. And for 25 years, I've looked at turbocharged fuel systems, and I'm baffled by it sometimes. Like, what am I doing wrong? But yeah, it's a different thing, and sometimes it takes the pressure off, and we can just remember how to go back and pull, rather than worrying about the tractor is going to work or not. So that's kind of been the downfall of the super stock classes. You got to worry about, is it all going to work together?
Absolutely. Yeah. Well, Brett, glad to have you on board here, GMS. Make sure that if you do need some components, make sure you do give Brent a call. Anything from Sarah over there?
I would just say really happy to have him. I hope your son has a great pull this weekend. We're always looking forward to cheering on, especially sponsor companies when they have their own tractors here.
Absolutely. We're really ecstatic about the partnership this year with NTPA, and with full pull, of course, being involved. It's a really exciting times with pulling right now.
It definitely is.
Absolutely. Well, good luck this weekend, Brett, and we'll see you down the road.
Sounds good.
Thanks, bud.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Headset on there. It's Joe, right? Sergeant Sharon. I got it.
That's me. Okay.
All right, we're back to countdown to pull time. Sergeant Sharon from the U.S. Army. So, starting to talk to the NTPA a little bit. You know, I was in the Army from '92 to 2000. Are we recruiting? What's your goal with the NTPA, Sergeant Sharon?
Goal here today is we recruit for the Army out of Lima. We're just here to spread a good word, tell people about us, about what we have to offer in the Army, and just have a good time and be part of the community.
Yep. So, have you been to a truck and tractor pull before?
I have not. This is my very first one.
Are you excited?
Yeah, it's great. We don't have too many of these in Orlando.
Yeah, no, you do not have many of these in Orlando. We have a couple pulls like in Ocala in January. I'm trying to think, Satsuma, Florida, where the NTPA hooks are. Down there in January and February, so we'll have to definitely run you down there as well. So do you travel around doing a lot of recruiting? Because you said you were 13 Lima. I said that wrong. 13 Lima.
I'm a 13 Juliet.
Okay, so I said it completely wrong, Sarah. I'm butchering this interview, Sarah.
Yeah. So we're based out of Lima. We recruit all around, up and down Central Ohio. My main areas are actually Wapakoneta. I do Sidney, Shelby County, Bockens, and those areas. We have other recruiters that handle out in Mercer County, Salina, out through there. We have another recruiter who works out towards the Shawnee area, Allen East, and those parts. So we try to spread a really wide net, try to find great people to come and join our organization.
Now, are you going to be with us all weekend in Fort Recovery?
Yes, we'll have recruiters out here all weekend.
Okay, cool. And where can we find you at?
We're actually up towards the souvenir section and the Boy Scouts and where the Girl Scouts are at.
Okay.
Up there, too. Get some cookies while you come see us, too.
Yeah, get some cookies and go join the Army. Do you have something, what do you have? Like sometimes you'll see ropes courses or helicopters or big trucks. What do you have with you this weekend?
This weekend, our set, we got a little tent. We're going to plan on getting a deadlift bar out here, too.
Yes, do some push-ups?
Yes, we'll do some, we can just come down here and do some push-ups.
So I'm 48. To pass a PT test, how many push-ups, sit-ups, is it still a 2 mile? It used to be a 2 mile when I was in.
2 mile run is still part of it too. Now we get the Army Combat Fitness Test. It's six events. Minimum's 10, but it's maximum goes up to like 40, 60. It sounds a little bit odd, but when you start now with the new hand release push-up, you start to feel it after a little bit of those.
Yeah. In 1993, I ran an 11:10 2 mile.
Oh wow!
I don't think I could walk. I don't think I could do a half a mile in 11 minutes and 10 seconds. I was moving back then. I was 100 pounds lighter, and I did split option, so I did my junior and senior year in high school.
Okay.
So that my recruiter picked me up my last day of school, my junior year, took me straight to Milwaukee to MEPS, and then that first week is just kind of like you get shots and all that stuff, and I didn't know. I thought that was real basic training, and then one day they threw us in a cattle truck and the door shut, and that's when I learned a lot about life in Fort Leonard Wood, Missouri. Fort Lost in the Woods. That's where I did basic and AIT. So.
Oh yeah, that's
where'd you do your basic?
I did my basic AIT at Fort Sill.
Okay, in Oklahoma.
Yes.
Hot.
It does. It gets really hot, but actually it gets even colder, which is crazier. Yeah, it's the crazy part about it is like you'll look at your phone and be like, all right, it's 42 degrees, but that wind chill will be about 28. It's a great place. Actually, now and then I did my basic IT there. About 10 years later, I went back there as a drill sergeant. So it was crazy to see what so much has changed and what little changed at the same time. It was a very interesting experience for me.
Awesome. So what can you offer a new recruit today? What if I came up to you like I'm a mortgage lender, like I can give you a 7% interest rate, Sergeant Sharon. What do you offer new recruits today to join the Army? What are some incentives you have out there for them?
Well, a lot of people, they get out of high school, they want to go to college. They think that, all right, I don't want to join the military. I want to go to college. In fact, with the Army, you don't have to choose. Like, we have numerous educational benefits. GI Bill, that will cover 100% tuition and 36 months of benefits. It's you want to still go to school but not do active duty, reserve, the same thing. You do your reserve commitment 1 week in a month, 2 weeks in the summertime, and you can still go to school.
Yep, that's what I did.
Those skills, get your education, all that stuff is available too. Even if you already have a degree. So my little brother, he already has a bachelor's degree. He enlisted in the Army. He only did about 4 years, got out, and he used his GI Bill money to pay to go to law school. He writes tobacco litigation for FDA now.
Wow. So he did good stuff with his with his GI Bill. That's awesome.
Yeah.
So, well, Sergeant Sharon, thank you for working with the NTPA. We're excited to further this relationship down the road, and we'll stop by and see you. Okay.
Okay.
All right, buddy. Have a good night.
All right, you too.
Ron Bargy, get up here. Got one more interview, then we're going to kind of take a break. We're going to head inside the trailer, get ready for Full Pull Live. Ron Bargy's with AP1 Insurance. I use them personally. They insure my pulling tractor, not for parts. I wish they could insure it for like broken water lines and burnt pistons and stuff like that. So actual insurance. Ron, he's a puller too. The Bargy family been around a long time. So Ron, tell me about AP1 Insurance a little bit, what you do for pullers, and probably not just pullers, but that's all I think about is other motorsports as well, Ron.
Sure, yeah. We're about 10 years. I think this year, June was 10-year anniversary of Ag Protect 1 AP1 Insurance. We've felt a need back then for other options to insure your competition vehicle. And it's off-track competition, like you said. Unfortunately, we can't insure the
I said that to Derek one day. Hey, I'm buying the high-tech redneck, so what can I put like an engine program?
Yes.
Yeah, there's something like that.
You got it. Yeah.
He goes, I don't want to touch that.
You help find us a carrier that wants to take on that risk, and we'll write it.
But that's also why you guys got started, because it was hard 10, 15, 20 years ago. Two, if there was a tornado, if there was a fire at my shop, how do you – because these things are silly expensive.
Yes.
And
farm policies and other type of automotive policies are not going to cover truly the value of the vehicle that you've built. And so this policy gives you full replacement value. 10 years from now, that policy is going to grow, with that tractor, with the cost, with the inflation costs and so forth. As long as you continue to, when you renew – accurately, portray within 80% of what that value would be to replace it. And as you can tell, the cost is not hateful for the fact that you're covering for everywhere,
correct,
except for on the track. So, like you said, theft, fire.
No, I mean, I had a buddy.
An accident going down the road. We actually had that. Our own tractor came loose in the trailer, and it destroyed the fenders. And we filed a claim on that.
Yep.
They paid that, no problem. So.
Yeah, anytime with the trailer coming loose or anything like that, or somebody pulls out in front of somebody. I had some friends 20 years ago in Illinois. They got T-boned, and they completely lost their tractor. Yeah. So fires, all the things like that you guys can do to help. So was there one specific reason why you started this, or was it just a lot of people talking about it and kind of became a business idea, or is there one aha moment, like we need to do this?
Oh, without a doubt. It was a series of about 6 months where a lot of our insurance, so we run Premier Crop Insurance. That's our baby, first and foremost, that we started in 2009. And by 2012, 3 years in, a lot of pullers were becoming clients of ours for their crop insurance, and they're asking about insuring their pulling vehicle and just seeing different quotes from to compare to what they had then. If there's one game in town or only two games in town, you're not maybe always getting the best option, right?
Right.
Competition breeds success and better rates and better opportunities, and so that's why we looked at it. So
awesome.
We saw an opportunity and kind of a market that was underserved, and that's definitely been true because in 10 years now we've hit the $1 million premium mark and about 400 policies nationwide.
Nice.
So, yep.
Well, I'm proud to be one of them, Ron.
Yeah, we appreciate that. I love that business. Thank you.
No, it's
guys.
all good.
Yeah.
It's all good. Best way to get a hold of you guys? I know we can see at the polls, but
really to go online. AP1.
When did you go from Ag Protect 1 to AP1?
It's just more of a branding.
It sounds cool.
So,
I like it.
Yep. Derek came with that idea, so you give credit to him. That was an awesome idea.
We have to give Derek credit?
Yeah, we do.
For real?
We do. Yeah,
oh,
Jason
man.
saw that one. Yep.
Sorry, Derek.
Yep.
Sorry, not sorry.
Yep. So it's actually still agprotect1.com you go to, and very simple. You can fill out an application online in about 5 minutes. Really.
Yeah, it was actually super easy.
Yeah, and we'll get you a quote in a couple of days.
That's perfect. Cool. Hey, well, thanks for all you do for pulling.
Yeah.
Do you have any vehicles running this weekend?
We
the
do.
Bargy family?
The Bargy family goes way back. Dad's in the Hall of Fame. It's his birthday today. I want to give a shout out. My
How
dad's
old?
83 years old
83.
today.
83. Nice.
So, and he's been pulling at Full Recovery since the inception back in 67. And so he's been here a long time. He's here with us tonight. His tractor, the original Judge, will be driven in the alcohol superstock class by Brian Diekman.
Yep, I saw that.
And then the Judge Next Generation, we've got 3 engines on it tonight, and we're going to run the Unlimited class. And Derek's going to drive that.
We haven't seen that in a while. Three big turbines in there.
Not since last year, and we only did that at BG. And So,
what happened
yeah.
with what Brian was driving in Benson with the Super? What happened down there?
He put a rod out the side.
That's what I thought.
So and,
we had when you're announcing,
you
as a puller, it makes me want to throw up, but as an announcer, I still have to kind of play it. I'm like, clean
Part
up
of,
aisle 3,
yes,
but you're like,
It's what the fans love, So it's motorsports, it's competition. It is what it is, and like tonight, you never know. We just hope for the best and everybody's safety, but I'm sure we're going to see some entertainment for sure.
That's what we do. So, hey, Ron, thank you for sponsoring the NTPA.
Our
Thanks
pleasure.
for being a puller.
Yep.
So,
Thanks, Jason.
Countdown to pull time, everybody. We're going to wrap our session up. We're still going to stay live. So for those of you watching on Facebook or YouTube, we roll right into the first couple of hooks of the show tonight, and then we turn off to our subscribers only. Sarah Cox here with the NTPA. Sarah, this your first trip to Fort Recovery?
It is.
What do you think?
I think it's quite the place. How many tractors can you fit in one?
I was just going to say, it's like they're stacked on top of each other. So, Rogo, we're coming back to you inside the trailer. Tony, can you let them know? We're coming back inside. We'll see you soon.
And helping farmers succeed. As the largest family-owned seed company in the U.S., we believe in the integrity of remaining an independent family-owned seed company. Since our founding in 1937, we have continued to produce quality products backed by a family of employees and dealers dedicated to serving American farmers. And that's something to be proud of. Becks. Founded in faith, forged in America. For more information, visit BecksHybrids.com.
Looking for a refreshing change? Say goodbye to sluggish performance and reach for the one that won't slow you down.
That's crisp.
Experience the force of clean, pure oil coursing through your engine. No matter what you drive, Wix Filters is the clear choice. Here's to filtration that works as hard as you do. Wix Premium Filters. Performance starts here.
Like a seed planted in Ohio soil, Michael Connie knew that success takes time. It requires grit, hard work, and persistence. What began in a one-bay garage grew to revolutionize America's trailer industry. Today, Mac Trailer is a full-scale enterprise with 13 facilities and over 135 dealers across the nation. Mac Trailer supports you with a team of experts in the heart of a small-town hero. Start your legacy with Mac Trailer.
You've got questions? We've got answers. Need a pro you can trust? We have stores of that too. No matter what you need, our professional parts people have the training and expertise to help you do things right. Deep automotive knowledge. Just one part that makes O'Reilly stand apart. The professional parts people.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
At Becks, we stand up for things that matter most. Our faith, our independence, and helping farmers succeed. As the largest family-owned seed company in the U.S., we believe in the integrity of remaining an independent family-owned seed company. Since our founding in 1937, we have continued to produce quality products backed by a family of employees and dealers dedicated to serving American farmers. And that's something to be proud of. Becks, founded in faith, forged in America. For more information, visit BecksHybrids.com.
Dr. E. Gates, night that right. That's going to move it. Off to the right. Rear displacement.
Test 1 2, test 1 2 3. 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 Hang on a second. I'm going to get Ron to talk in it to make sure the sound is good on the other end when somebody else speaks. Hang on just a moment.
Great pass. All right, Carolina. For a second, Earl. So they had.
I just want you to talk into the microphone. That's getting fed back to the. So keep it G-rated.
Keep it G-rated. Everything is sounding good. It's pretty warm outside. I don't know. Sun's beaten down on the track. Hopefully they bring the moisture up as the sun goes down. I got an early, middle, and late hook in the class.
Looking for a refreshing change? Say goodbye to sluggish performance and reach for the one that won't slow you down.
That's crisp.
Experience the force of clean, pure oil coursing through your engine. No matter what you drive, Wix Filters is the clear choice. Here's to filtration that works as hard as you do. Wix Premium Filters. Performance starts here.
Like a seed planted in Ohio soil, Michael Connie knew that success takes time. It requires grit, hard work, and persistence. What began in a one-bay garage grew to revolutionize America's trailer industry. Today, Mac Trailer is a full-scale enterprise with 13 facilities and over 135 dealers across the nation. Mac Trailer supports you with a team of experts in the heart of a small-town hero. Start your legacy with Mac Trailer.
You've got questions? We've got answers. Need a pro you can trust? We have stores of that too. No matter what you need, our professional parts people have the training and expertise to help you do things right. Deep automotive knowledge. Just one part that makes O'Reilly stand apart. The professional parts people.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
At Becks, we stand up for things that matter most. Our faith, our independence, and helping farmers succeed. As the largest family-owned seed company in the U.S., we believe in the integrity of remaining an independent family-owned seed company. Since our founding in 1937, we have continued to produce quality products backed by a family of employees and dealers dedicated to serving American farmers. And that's something to be proud of. Becks, founded in faith, forged in America. For more information, visit BecksHybrids.com.
Looking for a refreshing change? Say goodbye to sluggish performance and reach for the one that won't slow you down.
That's crisp.
Experience the force of clean, pure oil coursing through your engine. No matter what you drive, Wix Filters is the clear choice. Here's to filtration that works as hard as you do. Wix Premium Filters. Performance starts here.
Like a seed planted in Ohio soil, Michael Connie knew that success takes time. It requires grit, hard work, and persistence. What began in a one-bay garage grew to revolutionize America's trailer industry. Today, Mac Trailer is a full-scale enterprise with 13 facilities and over 135 dealers across the nation. Mac Trailer supports you with a team of experts in the heart of a small-town hero. Start your legacy with Mac Trailer.
You've got questions? We've got answers. Need a pro you can trust? We have stores of that too. No matter what you need, our professional parts people have the training and expertise to help you do things right. Deep automotive knowledge. Just one part that makes O'Reilly stand apart. The professional parts people.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
At Becks, we stand up for things that matter most. Our faith, our independence, and helping farmers succeed. As the largest family-owned seed company in the U.S., we believe in the integrity of remaining an independent family-owned seed company. Since our founding in 1937, we have continued to produce quality products backed by a family of employees and dealers dedicated to serving American farmers. And that's something to be proud of. Becks, founded in faith, forged in America. For more information, visit BecksHybrids.com.
Wants to know if you need anybody color guy in here.
Does he want what's
Looking for a refreshing change? Say goodbye to sluggish performance and reach for the one that won't slow you down.
That's crisp.
Experience the force of clean, pure oil coursing through your engine. No matter what you drive, Wix Filters is the clear choice. Here's to filtration that works as hard as you do. Wix Premium Filters. Performance starts here.
Like a seed planted in Ohio soil, Michael Connie knew that success takes time. It requires grit, hard work, and persistence. What began in a one-bay garage grew to revolutionize America's trailer industry. Today, Mac Trailer is a full-scale enterprise with 13 facilities and over 135 dealers across the nation. Mac Trailer supports you with a team of experts in the heart of a small-town hero. Start your legacy with Mac Trailer.
You've got questions? We've got answers. Need a pro you can trust? We have stores of that too. No matter what you need, our professional parts people have the training and expertise to help you do things right. Deep automotive knowledge. Just one part that makes O'Reilly stand apart. The professional parts people.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
At Becks, we stand up for things that matter most. Our faith, our independence, and helping farmers succeed. As the largest family-owned seed company in the U.S., we believe in the integrity of remaining an independent family-owned seed company. Since our founding in 1937, we have continued to produce quality products backed by a family of employees and dealers dedicated to serving American farmers. And that's something to be proud of. Becks, founded in faith, forged in America. For more information, visit BecksHybrids.com.
Looking for a refreshing change? Say goodbye to sluggish performance and reach for the one that won't slow you down.
That's crisp.
Experience the force of clean, pure oil coursing through your engine. No matter what you drive, Wix Filters is the clear choice. Here's to filtration that works as hard as you do. Wix Premium Filters. Performance starts here.
Like a seed planted in Ohio soil, Michael Connie knew that success takes time. It requires grit, hard work, and persistence. What began in a one-bay garage grew to revolutionize America's trailer industry. Today, Mac Trailer is a full-scale enterprise with 13 facilities and over 135 dealers across the nation. Mac Trailer supports you with a team of experts in the heart of a small-town hero. Start your legacy with Mac Trailer.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to Fort Recovery, Ohio. Dan Mayer, we're in the house. Dan, this is going to be fun tonight, buddy. Welcome to Fort Recovery. This is my first time here, buddy.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, you're going to have a good time.
Are we going to get Keith Horse? We got to find out who our guest announcer is.
Yes, he is coming. He's making his way here down right now. I'm actually just finishing the text up right now.
So we always, as you know, fans, we always try to. Dan's our house announcer tonight and tomorrow night. Bert Forbes will be here tomorrow during the day. Dan's going to go trackside tomorrow. Bert's going to be trackside for you all tonight and tomorrow. So Dan Mayer, everybody, one of the best voices in pulling, most knowledgeable. Excited to have him working with full pull. We wanted more, but like we tried earlier, but your summer was kind of filled up already, and I felt bad for that, Dan. And you can't tell a promoter that you're going to announce an event. All of a sudden, hey, I can't do this now. So I've been looking forward to Fort Recovery all year to have one of the best voices in pulling in here. And I'm not just sucking up to you, Mayor. You're really good at this. Buddy.
Well, glad to be here. And like I say, I give my word to a lot of the promoters, and we sign contracts and all that. So, but no, glad to be a part of it. Full Pull Live. We're here at Fort Recovery, Ohio. Just a mainstay on the NTPA Grand National Circuit.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is. It's pretty exciting. Pretty excited to do that. So Keith Horse is going to be in here tonight as well with Dan. We're going to kick it off right away at Diesel Superstocks. I just peeked outside, Dan. The crowd is just filling in. We got a new gimbal for our starting line camera night. I'm excited for that. I love showing the stuff, Dan, that you don't get to see normally when you're watching from home or if you're just in the stands. You know, really getting up and especially with the Pro Stocks and the startups of the mods and the minis and Fort Recovery. I'm just the hillside. I don't know if it's the grain setup behind it. We talked about it on Countdown to Pull Time, Dan. But this place just feels, it's kind of got that Chapel Hill feel, that quaintness, that, what's the word I'm looking for, Dan? But it feels good.
The atmosphere.
Thank you.
It's the atmosphere. That's what Fort Recovery is all about. Now, we talked about it earlier. It used to have 2 Grand National Pulls throughout the year. They used to do a July and an August pull. And they went, just gone with the July pull here as of the last, so many years. But it's just, one of those, marquee events on the Grand National Circuit. And, it is the longest running NTPA pull.
That's what you said earlier.
Grand National pull that since 73 they've been with the NTPA. And, we've got just an awesome amount of entries here tonight. It's going to be a good one.
Yeah, and if you haven't done so, fans, yet, head over to fullpullpicks.com. We're wagering on Unlimiteds tonight, Super Farms. What I have, 2-wheel drives and Pro Stocks here. No, that's Brandenburg. There's like 11 different games tonight. We have 3 outlaw classes going on tonight out in Wayne, Nebraska, and that's something new. We talked about it on Countdown to Pull Time, head-to-head. You're going to pick, like it's like Donald Nelson versus Cameron Neves tonight in the mods out there. And if one of them gets 7th and one of them gets 10th, they don't have to win it, Dan. They just have to beat their other competitor. And I know, let me get my phone out here. I'll pull that up. I had my laptop up for you for region points. And all of our classes tonight are Grand National except 4-1s. Is that right?
Yeah, the 4-1s will be. And what's interesting about the 4-1s here in the Midwest, they don't get the numbers like they do out in, outlaw territory, the other side of the river, let's call it.
We're in light pro country.
Yes. This is light pro country out here. Where limited pros very popular out there, and say like NTPA Region 3 area, places like that where they get the numbers are twice as much, but still a great class to watch.
Yeah. Before we head into opening ceremonies, I want to buzz through the games that you guys can all play tonight for you sitting at home. So light supers from Brandenburg, Kentucky, pick 2 competitors that finish in the top 3. Same with Pro Stocks from Brandenburg. 2-wheel drive pickups, Super Farms. Outlaws is the head-to-head for 2-wheel drives, modifieds, and Pro Stocks. And then here in Fort Recovery, where Dan and I are, mini rods, 31 of them tonight. I think there's 7 or 8 Unlimiteds. Joe Ader was one of the favorites when I looked earlier. Super Stock diesel trucks and Super Semi. So it's going to be a lot of fun. We'll go into the odds a little bit later. as the night goes on. But so excited to have Dan Mayer on Full Pull Live. It's going to be a great weekend. He's going to be your main announcer tonight, and tomorrow night, Bert Forbes is going to do tomorrow's session during the day. But we do have Bert out on the track. We tried bringing you more trackside stuff at Chapel Hill. Still working through some audio. When you get everything tests out great, Dan, when nobody's here, 500 feet away. And as soon as you had 10,000 people, things don't work.
Things
Dan.
don't go. Yes. That's the way. Well, it looks like opening ceremonies
Yeah.
are getting things together down there, and crowd filling in. Once again, the hillside. You know, they've had people here since, I think it was Tuesday or Wednesday, they started putting their seats down.
Yeah.
So they, they are ready to go.
Yep. Rogo, if you want to switch over to Tony's camera.
Does this have audio? Yeah, let me go to the other side.
All game stop. Good stop. Game on. Ladies and gentlemen, Ella Kramer and our national anthem.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets right there, the bombers singing air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave for the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Thank you, Ella. God bless America. We appreciate that very much. Wow, Krieger, imagine you and I ending up in the same room again. Being here, even though we have to try to prevent you from recovery a while, I can tell you that it's been a wonderful time to be back here. We're excited about what we've got about here.
Well, good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome Fort Recovery, Ohio.
It's exciting. It's super exciting. Love seeing the crowd fill in on a Friday night. You know, Dan, on these two-day events like this, if you have a good Friday night crowd, we can have a monster Saturday night crowd.
Oh,
So it's
absolutely.
fun.
And the weather's supposed to be absolutely perfect. And it looks like we're just about ready to go pulling here tonight. We've got an excellent show. We've got, looks like 7 classes of competition here tonight to get us rolling. It
And we're
looks
going
like,
supers right away.
Yeah, well, I've got my super stock expert.
Well, no, I'm not an expert.
Sitting next to me. We bring in an expert.
I made the decision to buy one because I've always wanted one, and I'm super happy with the high-tech redneck, and it's fun. But we hunted in Rock Valley, Iowa, got a little warm. We're supposed to be in Chapel Hill, and then obviously we couldn't be here tonight. So it's closer to home tonight, kind of the motor's rebuilt. We're going to see what happens.
So it looks like...
Talk about your storyline, Dan.
Yes,
Right
well, here's our story. Well, before we get rolling here tonight, let's talk about the parameters that we got on the track here. So track length here tonight in Fort Recovery, Ohio, 350 feet long, approximately 40 feet wide, or as wide as your normal two-lane highway. We got the white lines each side of the track. You touch the white line, you're disqualified. So over here on the grandstand side here tonight, we're going to run the super stock diesel trucks, 7,500-pound diesel trucks. And then over on the hillside here in Fort Recovery, we are going to run the 8,000-pound diesel super stock class.
I'm excited for that.
And looks like we're about ready to get things rolling here tonight as we'll bring out Craig Dickey, the Cummins Killer 3.
Coming off the big win in Goshen last night. You said last hook of the class?
Yeah, last hook of the class. River Falls, Wisconsin. Now that's east of Minneapolis. Now, interesting business that he runs. He is in the sand fracking business. He mines for sand for fracking.
Okay.
And they do that out in the west, and he's got a couple of the quarries, and that's what he does during the week. But here on the weekend, he goes pulling. Now, this is a Duramax. 7,500 pounds, maximum weight of these trucks. It looks like we're ready to go. I'll tell you, not the way that he wanted to start his night out. Now, he's currently sitting number 2 in Grand National points, had a third-place finish up in Hutchinson, Minnesota, and Tomo, Wisconsin. So the season has started out pretty well here. 2020 GMC with a Duramax underneath the hood. Now, all the trucks you're going to see the rest of the night are all going to have the Cummins power plants. This is the only one with the Duramax. And as our test puller, we'll have the option to take or turn down his run. So I'm sure he'll probably turn that run down, unless he's got some problems, but we'll see what they say from trackside.
Yeah, the fact that he's driving it off is a good sign, Dan. So you've seen a replay, he really never got after it.
Yeah, so right off the start line, things look good. Right about the 150, 200-foot mark. And then right there, just got, not sure if he got underneath the turbo, but now fans in pulling, we have a maximum weight rule, which is pretty much the reverse of everything else you are used to. So, you go to a stock car race, Jason, you want to be as light as possible. You go to drag racing, you want to be as light as possible. In pulling, no, it's a maximum weight rule. So 7,500 pounds over here on the truck side, and the diesel tractors will land at 8,000 pounds.
Now, first one's going to be the M80s out of the Bradish family. I think they had these at Keystone, Dan, and they heard them. I think they have 2 in the family. There's M80, and there's another one.
Well, Mark Bradish, for years, used to run the Recycled Red.
Okay. He
called his tractor. He had an NMX Series International that he ran. Now, fans over on the truck side, Craig Dickey's going to turn that run down.
Yep.
So he's going to take his option as our test puller. Now, the test puller in the class will be the only one that will have the option to take or turn down their run. Now, we give him that option simply because he hasn't seen anybody else go. So, by the luck of the draw, a lot of times at number 2 hook, when you draw a number, you don't want to have that number 2 hook.
Right.
But on certain tracks, an afternoon pull, now these classes are going to start off here. We're going to be in daylight, and we'll probably get them done before the sun sets. So we won't see the track change as much.
Right.
When we got a situation like this.
It's going to affect that second class more than likely.
Absolutely.
When the sun goes down, we see that moisture start to come up, Dan. We see a shot of Von Bauer and Jim Miller there talking it over. We're going to give you a lot of different camera angles tonight. That was one of our hot pitch shots a little bit ago as we're getting started here in Fort Recovery, Ohio. Session 1. Yeah, Sessions 2 and Session 3. Dan, where are you heading after this, big guy?
Next pull I will be doing will be up in Hillsboro, Wisconsin.
Nice, the charity.
A couple weeks. Yeah, I'll be a couple weeks. I got next weekend off. I'll be heading back to New York to see my son.
Good.
So that we're looking forward to that. But you can see the Brain Trust down there, trackside.
Yep.
Vaughn and Jim Miller talking things over. We're going to be using the on-the-mark sleds here tonight.
Okay, great.
A little bit of a change here from the Ironman sleds we've had at just about all the events of the season. We had the decision makers down in Benson, North Carolina, to start out the season, but from there on, it's been the Ironman sled. So a little bit different here, running a different sled. Now, tell the people at home, hooking to a sled.
Oh, yeah. You can feel it, how you set your tractors up. Some of them let you run a little bit earlier, and then they really whack you. Some of them, pull heavy right away, then they let you run at the end. And the pullers the really good pullers, unlike myself, really know that, and they can favor that. And then I've heard guys have changed tires, knowing based upon what sled they're going to have. That's just how it works. So we got Lily Stacy smoking it. I have never seen Lily drive the truck in person. I know she does well in it.
Yeah, this truck, the 2023 Grand National Champion. We see husband Eric out front. They're out of Winchester, Ohio, just east of Cincinnati. And we saw Lily do the driving last night over in Goshen, Indiana.
Oh, good.
And, she's got experience in,
she's
the
kind of
family
good at this
tractor.
diesel super thing.
Yes,
yeah,
the family tractor.
The Ross. She was formerly Ross before she married Eric. He's going to jump and give her a talking to. Say, come on, babe. You got this.
Now, the super stock diesel truck class, one of the newer classes here in NTPA competition, they started back in 2017. So they're just kind of finding their groove here. Now, we got a good field, 16 of them here tonight.
Yeah, it's really grown a lot, yeah. What amazes me about this class is sometimes we don't see them go full throttle to 200, 250 feet. 7,800 pounds. I think they're making over 3,000 horse at the end.
7,500 pounds.
7,500, excuse me.
Yep, 7,500 pounds. And, they're making about 3,300, 3,400 horsepower. And with the small tire, you just can't come off the starting line and bury that throttle. You won't go anywhere. So you'll watch.
So she's going to set the distance to beat. Unless we have a sled reset, which we hope we don't have that. But Cummins Killer's 2-1 on our fullpullpicks.com. And Lily is 1.5 to 1, so almost even money, Dan.
Right there, Lily Stacy, that all-important time in the seat for Lily. Now, they had been, up to this point, they had been kind of every other hook. They've been switching off driving, but Lily back-to-back here as we'll bounce things over to the diesel super stock side.
I want to say a prayer because they just put this tractor together last night. I saw a Facebook video, Dan, and my tractor just got put back together last night as well, so for that first hook for Diesel Super, Dan, you hope everything goes good, buddy.
Drive it on the trailer. That's what it's all about. International 1066, 8,000 pounds maximum weight here. The Diesel Supers, 540 cubic inches, and they're allowed to run up to 4 turbochargers. We said the 30.5s on the back.
I would say, I've heard that the big ones like the Travises and the Collins of the world, the Kent Paynes, pushing 6,000 horsepower now. Some of them around 5,000. A lot of these guys, we don't dyno the Diesel Supers as much as the Pro Stocks do, get numbers, but I feel like that's a pretty safe.
I would say we're
range,
good right around the 5,000 range. The Pro Stocks and the Diesel Supers right in that 5,000 range. Amazing.
It's crazy. I heard a little bit of that flutter. Danny, you and I heard that right away. I guarantee it's a little fat on water. First time out like that, and they really need to clean out, get those cylinder temps up, and blow the smoke up. We'll see it here when they put the replay up. You can watch the smoke turn on it like that. So, but again, he has the first options. We see the replay now of Lily Stacy. She goes 316.31. So again, first one into class. You can really see her getting hooked up to the track and this slow motion replay there. The truck kind of rocking side to side, all 4 tires going. She kind of really walked it up slow, and then about 50 feet, she was after it pretty hard. So good to see.
And of course, those small tires, those make a big difference here with all that horsepower that they're running. Now, the the super stock diesel trucks, they have a 460 cubic inch limit on them.
Yep.
We talked about 2 pressure stages, 3 turbochargers is the limit on them. Yeah, about 3,300, 3,400 horse they're making. Now over here on the diesel super stock tractor side,
we really need to see that smoke shoot higher in the air, Dan. And just,
right.
I think I said, like, it's their first. I know they just put this together last night. I saw their Facebook video. They started it. And it's probably a little fat on water because you don't want to burn it down right away.
Absolutely.
You want to get a computer reading, and now they can. They got time. They can drop to the end of the class. I'm assuming they won't take that hook, Dan, and they can, put a different water nozzle in and take a little bit more water away from that and get that smoke to shoot up in the air a little bit more, clean it out.
Well, next up over here on the super stock diesel truck side, we've got Ken Crowder here, Attica, Indiana, just northwest of Indianapolis. The Shy Diesel Dodge. It's a 2009 Dodge 3500, currently sitting number 4 in the points. Now, the important part to watch here, where he has spotted the sled. Now, each and every competitor has the option where you want to put that sled. You put it anywhere you want between the white lines. Now, we saw Lily Stacy. She started in the middle of the track. Kent right away is going to move that over to the left-hand side here. Now, here's a guy that a lot of experience. Him and Van Hazley, they pulled diesel trucks before there was a class. They were more or less the grandfathers of this class.
They made the rules. They figured things out to make it competitive for everybody. For a while here in Ohio, they were running the mod trucks with the diesels. And when the diesels really started getting hold of them, I think the gas guy said, you just go play by yourself.
Yeah, once they became contenders, the gas guys kind of said,
go away,
have fun with it. Let's see what Ken Crowder can do here tonight. Good running truck. And right there you can see driving technique. Now, Ken Crowder, a lot of the pullers in this class will tell you he is one of the best for applying that horsepower right around that 100 to 200 foot mark in this class. Now you'll notice they'll come off the starting line, they'll get into it, and then they'll really kind of roll into it. They say Kent is the best to do it.
About 125 was, I feel like he had it opened up all the way, Dan. I think he's going to come up short of Lily there, just by looking at this shot here. Lily was 316 and change, if I remember. Dan.
Yeah, 316.31, the mark to beat.
As we see the King of Smoke, Sir Esden Lane.
Yeah, what else can you say? 12-time Grand National Champion.
Only, is it Banters and Holman's have more championships?
Have more championships, yep. Well, Adam Bauer. But I'll tell you, actually Adam Bauer's got the most. Dave Banner's got the most, but, of current pullers. But, yeah, Esden Lane, International 1486. What can you say? The King of Smoke. Dayton, Minnesota. Currently sits number 3. Only ran Friday night last week. Had some trouble with the tractor, took it back up north.
Yeah, he came into Chapel Hill second in points. We got some pistons. Come on, Esden.
Done right there, fans.
He's a super stock pass.
Absolutely. Great run for Esden Lane. And once again, we see some oil underneath the tractor.
Right at the end, Dan, I'm sorry, but I think it's bad again.
This is like deja vu 7 days later, isn't it? Unfortunately here for Esden.
That's Mark Kaltenhauser, his crewmate out there checking things out. I heard it flutter there at the end. And that's typically when things tend to let go, Dan, when they're in a big full load like that. So.
Well, he's going to set the lead distance here, but unfortunately going to have some breakage, I have to say, here tonight. Looks like we got Brady Ingram over on the super stock diesel truck side.
Yeah.
We'll be up next here.
Now, he's one of our long shots in the class. This truck is formerly a 3.6 Pro Stock diesel truck class, and they ran it with the super stock diesel because Mr. Witt has American pride. As we watched the replay there of Mr. Crowder.
Yeah, just an excellent run there for Ken Crowder, that Shy Diesel Dodge. As we go back here, Esden Lane will watch his run.